Three, two, one. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and this is what Death Warmed Over looks like. So you probably failed at your dreams. You are leaving Los Angeles. Oh, did Harley fail at her dreams? This is Harley Quinn 74. I haven't done a Harley video since issue 56, which was the great Comicsgate issue where DC Comics literally published a comic attacking Comicsgate because the industry is that petty. But I'm not here to talk about Comicsgate. I'm here to talk about this shitty book. What was it? Mark Russell was writing that issue of, or at least writing that Harley Quinn run at that time. He's now since gone off to do greater things like the Wonder Twins. This is now Stan Humphries. You know Stan Humphries from Dial H for Hero fame. Because one of DC's most popular characters, the one that just had a movie, a second one, about, because she's so popular, the one that's in books over and over and over, just flooding the shelves of Harley Quinn books. DC decides that they just put the bottom rung talent on the books, I guess. Yikes. Let's get into this book. Oh shit. You can't get away from comics. You can't get away from the political correctness in the comics. In case you weren't aware, guys, it's now the middle of July. We've been in a pandemic since the end of February. In case you weren't aware, stay 6 feet apart because DC's doing their part. Good job on you, DC. So this book, I'd like to say that this book is as terrible as you think it's going to be. I'd like to say that this book is as terrible or even worse than that infamous Harley Quinn 56, which I'm keeping for posterity. It's gonna be a good thing to look back 10 years from now and see one of the books that started it all. But not started it all, but I don't know, man. I want to see how that reads, the whole Comicsgate nonsense down the road. But I don't know what's going on in this book. I don't read Harley Quinn. I'm reading this for the video, for the channel. But that's okay, because a comic book should be able to be picked up by anyone at any time. Like, every book should be able to be considered someone's first comic book. If you can't pick up a book and use that as a launching point, as a starting point for you, then it's failed as what it's done. So we open up and we see this dumpy guy. Man, I don't know. This Granny Goodness, she sounds like one tough nutcracker. She almost killed you. In space. And I don't have Tina to save me like last time. All I have is this. I'm in so deep, George. How do I get out of this? Are you sure you're up to it, Queen? Queen? Maybe some things are better left alone. But if she killed Alicia, this merch is popular? Oh, hell yeah. Los Angeles loves Alicia the Crusher. The people miss her. Please don't get me sued. How much for your whole stock? Harley was learning the first rule of her adopted city. If you love Los Angeles, it will love you back. Hello, and all you hoppers and dreamers, hustlers and schemers. These were the perilous times. astrologically speaking, to try to solve a murder. The search for Alicia's killer had already pushed Harley from all over Los Angeles, from downtown to the valley to the South Bay. Even, the West Side. But nothing had prepared her to hear those two words gurgling up like profanities through the blood and teeth rapidly congealing in the Nazi's throat. "We love you, Alicia." No. The Nazi's throat. That was my best Dukes of Hazzard impression, because that's what this book is trying to do. I don't know what this voiceover narrator is. Granny goodness. To pursue this could mean desolation or worse, but to ignore it would let Alicia's killer get away scot-free. That's my little joke. For fuck's sake. Why do these progressive fanfic writers write like this? Look, scot-free. Anyone who's a comic reader would have gotten this. You don't need to put in parentheses, "That's my little joke." That ruins the joke. That's not how you tell jokes. You're a professional writer. You're getting paid to write DC Comics. Harley Quinn. But lest I forget, the people who actually like this book and read this book probably don't know who Scot-Free is. So I guess they have to do that sort of shit. Because this isn't meant for comic fans. And Harley would do anything for a friend, even a dead one. And it goes on. Yeah, Harley, I'm not going to keep doing that bit. But it goes on. Look, it goes on. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, giant freaking alien monsters come, and they're like, scream. Okay, these things would just destroy Harley Quinn in about 2 seconds. But of course, this 90-pound girl, I mean, she fought off the Trinity, for God's sakes. I mean, who are these alien bugs? And of course, look at her. She punches one in the face, under the jaw. And then it's Whittleson, the big bad guy. I guess she solved the murder, figured out who killed friend Alicia. No one cares. And it turns out it's more than just a big murder. A friggin' fire pit in North Hollywood? Why would Harley know what a fire pit is? Anyone know? "Hello, dear sweetheart. You seem well. Granny Goodness." And then we get Granny Goodness. Now, you may remember Granny Goodness from the critically acclaimed, awe-inspiring Female Furies series that came out about a year ago, where, Darkseid had a bake-off. Remember that? Remember, Darkseid had a bake-off? So, Granny Goodness is the villain of a Harley Quinn comic. Let this sink in for a second. So, we get her torturing Harley, which is kind of fun for me, because I hate modern Harley. So, every time I get to see her tortured in pain, I enjoy it. We get to see Granny Goodness sit here and just give her monologue about how she wants to cause pain and misery, yada yada. It goes on and goes on. And then Harley's had enough, and she decides to somehow, I don't know, she's being dangled by one arm, and then she manages to do this. I don't know how you get yourself in this position to do this. And of course, she beats the crap out of Granny Goodness. Well, for a second. Let's not get too crazy. But she's all upset. Listen to this dialogue. "Alicia was glorious. She was beautiful and strong and incredible. The best wrestler in California. An
inspiration to millions. A hero. Say it, you snot goblin. She was beautiful, strong, incredible.
You should have not come here. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. But why is Harley all of a sudden this big caring person? And it's an icon of femininity and feminism, which is weird. Those two things don't belong in the same sentence.
Go run naked backward through a field of...
I don't even know what she was about to say there. So Granny's like, you're worthless. And, you're too worthless to earn my revenge, but I will enjoy crushing your skull. To which she doesn't crush her skull. Because Harley, I guess, talks her out of it.
But now I recognize it in other people, the grief they carry for their moms, sisters, friends. Los Angeles, the city of angels. And I see it in you, too. So who died?
And then, so Granny Goodness decides not to crush her skull because she's so touched by Harley's speech. You mean Mercy? And we get a flashback sequence of when Darkseid makes her kill her dog, Mercy, that she trained. And this was actually the best scene in the book, to be honest, where she presents Mercy to Darkseid and says, he'll obey you first and foremost. And then he's just like, kill your dog, prove your loyalty. And she's like, what? No, that's too valuable. I could never, And then he's like, oh, okay, well, fine, dog, kill Granny Goodness. And she's like, what? No. And you get this cool shot of the dog's like, what? Whine. And then they fight and she has to kill the dog. And it's pretty terrible. It is. It's pretty terrible. Like, it's meant to elicit sympathy in the character. But Granny Goodness is a genocidal maniac. I don't have any sympathy, and I don't want to have a book trying to elicit sympathy in her. By the way, Harley Quinn is a bit of a homicidal maniac herself. So it's homicidal maniac versus genocidal maniac. I guess it's the lesser of two evils. That's how modern comics is. No heroism, just you killed more people, you're more eviler than me.
Granny, I hate your ass. I truly do. But I mean this. You're not alone.
The loss, the grief, it never gets easier.
No, but if you're good, you get better at it. So be good, for goodness sake. Oh, and Petite Tina says, go frack yourself.
The failed Fury?
She gave me this.
A worthless toy?
She gave it to me on Coney Island, but it's for her home and yours, Apocalypse. Like Charity XO says, keep your eyes on the stars, but always pack protection.
No! I command you. So she blasts the thing, and then we get the Dukes of Hazzard narrator, or to coin a phrase, you fight fire pits with apocalyptian firepower. The little baby fire pit choked, puked, and flamed out, like Planet Colu blazing through Tamarin's season. Whittleson, the scumbag, escaped in the chaos, but Harley saved Los Angeles, and maybe the Earth. Of course, she's such a freaking hero. Now, Granny's all upset. No, you ruined it, my perfect infant fire pit. So what does she do? Harley's laying on the ground, virtually incapacitated. What does Granny Goodness do? She just leaves. I will return for this planet, and not even hell will stop me. But I shall waste no more time on you. Why the hell? What kind of villain does they just finish off Harley? You just foiled all my plans. I'm going to bring hell because of it, but I'm just going to leave. Just leave you here. And then in true progressive, infantile, I'm struggling for the words. In true progressive, infantile, fanfic comics, we get a bit of a little comedy, silly Billy humor where she's laughing, ha ha, and then the building falls on her. Ooh, such good comedy. And then she wakes up. She's in it. Well, not really. She's in a dream state where she's in a wrestling ring, because one of the big tropes of progressive modern comics is first, food. You gotta have food tropes. And number 2, pro wrestling. For some reason, I don't know what it is. Could someone, you put in the comments, what is the deal? I mean, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I was into pro wrestling. That was the Hulkamania era back in the 80s, you may remember. With, you had, what is it? Andre the Giant. I'm trying to think, God, who was the Iron Sheik? Yeah, that was my era of pro wrestling. Now, I remember that. And I enjoyed it for a time when I was a teenager, a young teenager. And then I got a little older and I realized, that's fake and kind of dumb. And I moved on to different things. And it's fine. And I don't have a problem with anyone who likes pro wrestling. It's entertainment. You do you. You like it. But I don't remember pro wrestling being tied to comics in any way, shape, or form back then. It was just 2 completely separate, isolated entertainment pieces. But today, it's like hand in hand. And it's so ingrained. I feel like when I read a modern comic from a lot of writers, they don't feel like comics anymore. They feel like pro wrestling scripts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're designed to be the drama of, the heel versus the face. It's not about good versus evil or virtue or standing up for justice and truth. It's not about having adventures. It's about the heel versus the face. And that's what you're going to see in this comic too. Harley is just the face. She's not a good person. She's not a hero. She's definitely no role model. But she's going against the heels. The heels are the bad guy wrestlers, right? In pro wrestling, you always have the guy you can root for versus the guy you want to root against. That's the whole thing about pro wrestling. Get you emotionally attached to one of the characters so you feel involved and emotionally invested in what's happening. That's what sells you on watching the event. Even though you know it's fake in your head, you go, this is all pre-scripted. Like, it doesn't matter. You suspend your disbelief and you just enjoy the play, right? And that's fine. But why are comics turning this way? So she has this dream sequence or whatever, and her mom, and she's like, "Oh, Mom, I love you so much." I just don't. Am I supposed to feel sympathy for Harley Quinn? And she's a crazy lunatic killer. She needs to be in a straitjacket and locked away in Arkham forever. But she gets to run around LA, and everyone's just cool with that. And then Alicia's back in this dream sequence, and then of course we get the wrestling moves. And Harley's, living it out in her dream or whatever. And she's coughing up blood, and she smiles and says,
"What do you think happens to us when we die?"
"All I know is I'm in no hurry to get there." It's like, we don't get an answer. And then we get the nice, touchy-feely, girly girl scene where they're out in the beach with the ashes and having a little girly moment, emotional, and talking about, oh, we miss Alicia, and they're wearing their little Alicia's t-shirts. Who the fuck is this even Alicia person? I don't know. I don't care. And this, I was like, this is why I'm reading Harley Quinn? Is this what Harley Quinn is supposed to be about? Hey, look at, and they're having, just, oh God. And it just goes on, and it's like, oh, look, oh, let's, remember the good old times. Oh, and then we're just eulogizing our friend. It's like, this is a comic book. It's supposed to be about supervillains and heroes, and what the hell? And then we cut to this, Booster Gold, in the most cringe. This is why you came to this video. This is why I came to this comic. I was like, I gotta see what's going on inside here. When my heart was sand, you made it steel. I'll call you babe, and you call me boo. I don't know if this is a real song or not. I don't know what the melody's supposed to be. So if it is a real song, tell me again. Educate me below. I don't know, so I can't sing it. So, you know what? I'm done. I can't sing anymore. Oh, what's wrong, Booster? You're just a sad sack of shit. You're so, yeah, I guess if I were in your shoes, I would feel terrible too. What the hell has happened to Booster Gold? And then,
I love you strong, and love me, tra-la-la-la-la.
Harley?
Until the end of the world, I love ya.
You're here. Wait. Why are you wet? Comics out of context. I'm sorry I messed everything up.
Shut up, you corny ass dork. You're ruining the moment.
The what?
This.
And that's the end of the issue. What the fuck? What the... I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that we're not doing the lesbian Harley, Poison Ivy thing. But this is retarded. Like, can we just put Harley back with Joker where she belongs? What is... Now Booster Gold... Didn't we just read the worst miniseries in the history of miniseries, Heroes in Crisis? Okay, maybe it wasn't the worst. I mean, it did have some awesome Clayman art, but literally she's trying to kill him. I mean, I've heard of being attracted to crazy before, right? But no, what? I don't even have words. This was Harley Quinn 74. I hear it's ending. How do you end Harley Quinn? Should be a perennial book. It's so popular. This character's huge for DC, but I guess they're shitting on it. So like they don't know how to sell something that sells itself. Anyways, like I said, it's not as bad as 56 was. There was some actual heartfelt moments in here. There was something to be here, but this isn't the right book. You know, you got to go tell some romance. Humphreys, go write some romance comics somewhere. Go get an Image book. Like, get your own thing and go do it. That's fine. This is a DC comic with DC characters that aren't your personal playthings. Booster Gold is not your personal plaything. Harley Quinn is not your personal plaything. And I read DC comics because I want superheroes. I want the DC universe. I don't want whatever this is. You guys leave your opinions, comments down below. Did I upset you? Did I trigger anyone? I'm sorry if I did. Didn't mean to. But I'm an opinionated guy. This is my thoughts on the comic. You either like him or you don't. But I'm definitely willing to hear honest opinions. If you're disingenuous, don't bother. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time.